I think it's ridiculous to present Adam Elliot's works like other cinematic productions and talk about them that way. Mary and Max is a really great animation, and I strongly recommend you watch it. Or no, don't watch it. If it doesn't matter to you what kind of questions Mary asked a total stranger in her very first letter.
Where do babies come from in America?
Or who Max is and why he's afraid of flirting with women.
Flirting was as foreign to him as jogging.
Or don't watch it, if concepts don't matter to you. If you don't know what loneliness feels like, to be unintentionally rejected by society.
Her mother had told her she was an accident. How could someone be an accident?
Or if you want to be rejected. If you've never longed for someone to simply understand you. Or most importantly, don't watch it if you're just looking for a typical animated film, because it is more than that. Mary and Max is the story of two friends, two cities, two lonely souls. One is the monochrome imagination of an 8-year-old girl in Australia.
My name is Mary Daisy Dinkle.
And the other is the black and bustling city of a 44-year-old man named Max in New York. Mary lives with her mother in a house in Australia.
A lot of things puzzled Mary.
Mary and Max is a 2009 Australian stop-motion film by Adam Elliot, intended for adults and not suitable for children. As stated at the beginning of the film, the movie is indeed based on a true story. And in our real lives, we're living that story every moment.
And cigarette butts.
The events of this animation begin in 1976. Mary is a little girl who lives with her parents, but because her father is a reclusive man and her mother is an alcoholic, she feels incredibly lonely.
Friends with the Noblets from her favorite cartoon.
Mary's mother is not only addicted to alcohol, but also addicted to stealing. Or perhaps she does it because she can't afford to buy things.
Borrowed some fish fingers from aisle 6.
One day, she sees a list of New York residents at the post office. Driven by her loneliness, she embarks on an adventure, writing a letter to Max in New York.
Be great if you could write back and be my friend.
She introduces herself and at the end, asks him, "Do New York babies come out of cola bottles or beer glasses?" This is because her grandfather had told her babies are born in beer glasses. Along with the letter, Mary sends Max some chocolates and cakes, as Mary loves chocolate. If you're enjoying this video so far, please hit the like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm recommend this video to others who might be interested. And by subscribing, you honor us with your support. Now, let's continue with the rest of the animation introduction.
He was 44 and liked the Noblets.
Max is a 44-year-old man who lives in a dirty apartment in the Bronx. He suffers from severe obesity and mental disorders. Like Mary, Max is also a very lonely person, and he replies to her questions through letters. Their correspondence continues over time.
I have never met anyone from Australia.
He also loves chocolate and has Asperger's syndrome, a condition often associated with difficulties in non-verbal communication and noticeable clumsiness in movement and behavior.
Glad you like chocolate as much as I do.
Max doesn't know how to smile and can't read other people's emotions from their facial expressions. But his heart speaks through his words, conveying his feelings on paper.
Dear Mary Daisy Dinkle.
Lacking the experiential development of an adult, Max easily forms an equal connection with Mary. He doesn't understand why people create rules they don't follow, or why he's unable to cry. Max, who doesn't have neat handwriting, relies on an old typewriter to write to Mary about every little detail of his life, from his diet classes and pet fish, to his invention of the chocolate hot dog and stories about his blind neighbor.
She says she could find me with her eyes stapled shut.
Mary chooses Max at random, but after Max's first reply, she realizes they share many similarities and flaws, and chooses to embrace this friendship.
Fat. Mum says I'm fat too.
The exchange of letters between the two begins with a seemingly random incident. But as outside observers, we don't really see it as accidental. It feels as if there is a path and purpose in the universe guiding their connection. Through these letters, the characters begin to take shape, the story gains depth, and even new side characters are introduced, and the chocolates exchanged between them help soften the bitterness of the tale, adding a touch of sweetness to the story.
My psychiatrist says I don't need him anymore.
Mary and Max grow up together and offer their worlds to one another. They share with each other the things they either can't or don't want to share with anyone else. Mary goes to university and becomes a prominent psychologist. She uses Max's character as the basis for her research and even writes a book inspired by him. Hoping to make Max happy, she sends the book to him by mail.
I am very proud to give you the very first copy of my book.
But nothing goes as Mary expects. Max becomes very upset about this, and their friendship goes through a turbulent phase, a turmoil that deeply affects Mary's life and spirit. It's a story about the respect for friendship and the effort people make to preserve it. The film tells us that in a relationship, seeing, understanding, developing affection, and then accepting each other's flaws are the keys to building a deep and lasting friendship. In one of his letters, Max tells Mary, "Dr. Bernard said that if I were stranded on a desert island, I'd have to get used to my own company. He said I have to make peace with myself, with all my faults and flaws. We don't get to choose our imperfections. They're part of who we are, and we have to live with them."
Then I would have to get used to my own company.
Each seemingly silly question and the spoken-style dialogues in the letters exchanged between Mary and Max, beyond the film's humor, are actually some of the most insightful existential inquiries.
Mime artist.
At one point, Max
Ambits.
passively reflects on his belief in
Recipes
God.
are like math.
He says he used to be Jewish and has read various books denying God's existence. Now, he considers himself an atheist, yet he still wears his Jewish hat, just to keep his head warm. Each character in the animation Mary and Max suffers from specific mental and emotional challenges. Max has Asperger's syndrome.
Can get very concerned.
Mary struggles with depression.
She lost interest in the world.
Mary's neighbor has agoraphobia. Mary's mother is addicted to alcohol.
A type of tea for grown-ups.
And her father is socially withdrawn. The director portrays the consequences of these conditions through a simple and engaging narration.
Through their anuses.
Unlike most people, they don't live what's considered a normal life, especially Max, due to his mental condition.
He says I smell like licorice and old.
In one brilliant line, Max says, "Why is it that we are considered abnormal when I look around at all the strange people out there who think they are normal? Maybe they are abnormal and we are normal."
And trust you.
The film is filled with meaningful dialogue and makes extraordinary use of color. Max's life in New York is depicted entirely in black and white. In Max's New York, only a few things stand out in color, like the wool pom-pom on his hat, the flashing police lights, the photos and letters sent by Mary, the street mime's scarf, the lipstick-stained lips of a fat woman, and a few other details. These are the only touches of color in his otherwise monochrome world, the only bits of life that bring meaning to his days. In contrast, the dominant color in Australia is brown. This might be because Mary loves the color brown, something she mentions in her very first letter to Max.
My favorite color is brown.
A critique of progressive society, especially its extremism between the 1970s and the early 21st century, is conveyed through Max's words and the psychological analyses and solutions of 8-year-old Mary, mocking the world. Adam Elliot ridicules all human concepts, perceptions, boundaries, and beliefs of the modern era with a funny cartoon. But this film could only truly work in the form of animation, specifically through clay puppets and stop motion. Only with that pliable clay, so easily shaped and reshaped, could such powerful emotional expressions be portrayed. It's through that very clay that such bitter humor could be crafted and reality laid bare so boldly. Telling this story through real human characters would have diminished its authenticity. Just as it was written at the beginning of the film, it truly was based on a real story, because all of us are living it, moment by moment, in our own real lives. Why don't you watch it? I highly recommend to watch it, not just for its message, but for its artistry and emotional depth. Thanks for watching this video. Before we end, I kindly ask, if you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support through subscribing truly honors us.